Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Colorado Avalanche franchise mode. So in last episode we had the off season. We did let go a couple big pieces, including Steve Sullivan, and yeah, we basically got some good growth as well from our prospects that we already have. Like Grabeshkov is now up to an 82, so I'm excited to see how this guy plays. He's got really good offensive stats. I might actually put him on the power play instead of Zubov. But yeah, I'm excited to see how Grabeshkov pans out. Hopefully he ends up growing to being like a very good player for a 7th round pick. But other than that, our team looks pretty good on paper. It's a little bit weak on the left side, but Forsberg definitely is still a really good left winger. And then defensively, we're really strong in comparison to most teams, so I think that should also give us an upper hand this season. And then goaltending wise, we're always strong with Patrick Waugh between the pipes and youngster Ross Carter. And then also depth wise, we picked up some new pieces, including Iwi Krupp, who had the game winning goal in 1996 when the Avs won, so he's kind of like a good luck charm. And then we also got Brett Hull, who's going to be a really good depth player. Like if he comes into the lineup, he should be able to score a lot of goals. And then we also got Wayne Primo. I could put Brett Hull in the lineup instead of, say, someone like Colin Forbes, but for now we're going to keep Forbes there since he's younger. But if Forbes is really badly minus, maybe we'll put Brett Hull in to replace him. So let's get into this season simulation. We're going to probably go through the entire season in this episode just because I want to be able to get back to those playoffs and stuff right away. And because I kind of have to pre-record some episodes because my grandmother is coming down from British Columbia, or coming across the country, I should say, from British Columbia. So let's go all the way to December the 1st. Because we should be pretty automatic in making the playoffs, considering we just won the Stanley Cup and we have pretty much the same roster. It sucks that we had to let go of Steve Sullivan, but it makes sense in a way because he's not going to be playing on the third line. So, I could have played him on the left side, but it's weird putting a right-handed shot on the left side, at least in my opinion, unless they are a good shooter. Sullivan's more of a pass-first type of guy, so. Preseason-wise, we are playing really good, which is not a surprise. Adam Foote is back again. So yeah, hopefully this year we don't get bombarded with an injury at the end of the season, because the last 2 seasons we've had injury troubles right at the end. Forsberg went down when we lost to the Boston Bruins in the Cup Finals, and then Adam Foote went down, I think it was last year right at the end of the season, and then we end up winning the Cup against the Caps, so hopefully this team can do it. We should be a really good defensive team considering our goaltending and our defensive core. I'm hoping Sam Strudwick could win his second Norris, because I feel like this guy, considering the fact that this is a really random build, I feel like he could win maybe more Norrises than Bobby Orr did, which would be pretty crazy. Considering he's only 21 or so, yeah, I think he's only 21 and he's already won 1, and that was in his first season. We should be able to. So we are 4-0 to start the season, and there is a tie. Gunnarsson in the AHL is injured. That's one of the goalies, who's probably going to be a backup for us next season, just because we don't really have any other NHL caliber goalies. So unless we make a trade for one. So our first for a second, fourth, and Isaiah Thomas. No, thank you. That Isaiah Thomas is a bust. It's not like the basketball player. And it's built differently too. We are playing really good to start off the season. Our only tie coming against Tampa Bay, and there's another tie on the same day of the week. We'll put Gunnarsson back in just because we want the AHL team to still do good, even though they don't have the greatest prospects anymore. So is Brathwaite that we have to take out. There you go. Gunnarsson back in the lineup. But yeah, it should be pretty automatic for us to win most of these games. I don't see why we would lose 10 games in a row or whatever. We're 7-0-3 so far. I forget how much wins we had last season. If we break last year's season, we should be easily another President's Trophy. We've won 3 President's Trophies already in this tight span of 5 years, I think. No thank you, I don't really need Jamie Rivers. So we did actually get one loss, but it was in overtime against Detroit, not a really surprise. because Detroit's a really good team. And oh my god, Adam Foote breaking his leg. Yeah, Foote might be kind of getting towards the end of his career. He's been injured multiple times in the multiple years. That's not a good injury to have. That means we're going to have to put in our man, Ely Krupp. Come on, Krupp. Help us win another Stanley Cup. He's not the greatest depth player, but he was brought in more for nostalgia reasons. Even though in real life, I was not even alive. Well, actually, I was alive when the Avs won the Cup, but I was, like, very young. Because I was born in 1996. Like, I was born the same day Joe Sakic and Trevor Linden had hat tricks in the first round of the playoffs. So, just a little fact. If you could figure out what day that is without even looking at my Twitter, then you are an OG, I guess, for hockey stuff. So we've had 3 overtime losses, but we have no regulation losses at this point. So we're still getting points in every game except for, actually those OT losses are no points, but so we have not lost in regulation, and as I say that, we lose to Calgary 5-0. Hopefully Calgary could go on to win a cup soon too, because they were in the finals technically in 2003-04, but in this case they were near the bottom of the league. But yeah, we are playing really good offensively, good defensively. Yeah, this should be pretty automatic. Like, if we miss the playoffs, that would be the biggest cheese ever. And that Gunnarsson guy has been injured again. That's not good. Maybe we don't want to keep that guy in the NHL next year. Because if he's an injury-ridden goalie, I don't really want to have to, like, call up a guy from the AHL all the time. Like, maybe we'll find a different backup in free agency if Patrick Waugh even retires. Like, if he comes back again, he might be our backup, Ross Carter. Okay, so, yeah, really good record so far. Let's take a look quickly at who's leading us in points. Fleury with 31 and 26, and we are currently 5 points only above the Sweden Super Swedes. So it seems like a lot of the teams that were kind of near the bottom of the league at the beginning are kind of working their way up to the top now. So let's go another month. Our first for Germany, second, third, and Isaiah Thomas again. No, thank you. Our second and third for Christian Laflamme, who's got 3 years left. I don't really like that. And then the seventh, no thanks, San Jose. No way, Jose. Game against Nashville, who's also doing pretty decent. We win 6-1. How's Dallas playing? Looks like Dallas is starting to go back into rebuild state. Gunnarsson, our first and second for Steve Ruchin and Turnka. Ruchin's a really good player, but, like, I mean, I don't know where I would slot him in even. Because, like, I'd have to use him as, like, a winger or something. Like, he's a really good player and all, but still, he's probably getting up there in age as well. Like, in real life, I think he retired at the end of the 2006 season or 2007 season when he was with Atlanta. So, I mean, I think he's probably, like, 33, so he's probably getting up there. There's no point making a trade for him. Like, if this was the 90s when he was with the Mighty Ducks, that would have been really good. Because he's pretty much a really good two-way forward. And there's 2 losses on the same day, which is on Fridays. So we are getting a bit more losses this month, but then again, it's the simulation trying to say, hey, you are winning way too much games, you need to slow your ass down. And the AHL team's actually playing around 500, it looks like. Obviously, the AHL team won the Calder Cup a couple years ago, but they probably won't win this year. Hopefully, we could win a Stanley Cup again. There you go, Gunnarsson back in the lineup for down there. Hopefully, you can get them some wins down the stretch. There's a tie with Montreal. But yeah, this team is playing really good right now. And I'm going to assume that Sam Strutwick is probably going to easily win another Norris because there's not really much other 89 overall defensemen in this build because most of the older guys are retired now, and like defensemen are usually, I think, now in like the 85 range, or they're not as good offensively as Sam Strutwick is. So I think Strutwick should have another Norris. Hopefully he does. Because he's probably, I would say, a future captain here after, like, Forsberg and Sakic retire. And Fleury also. Game against Edmonton. Another win. Good job, boys. Oh, speaking of Theo Fleury, he's gone down with a strained hamstring. So I'm going to put Brett Hull in that spot because Brett Hull should be able to get a lot of points playing with Sakic and Forsberg. Considering he's still got the good offensive awareness, great shooting categories, all that type of thing. So this should be pretty easy for us to get some more goals and still win games with Brett Hull up there. Because like in real life, Brett Hull was even really good when he was getting into his later stages of his career, so it should be good. Our second for Witt and at fifth. Nah, I don't really need Witt because Adam Foote should be back soon actually. Like I think it said January something. So once he's back, our defensive core will look really good again. Our first for Mats Lindgren, a third and a fourth. No, thank you. Kind of funny that Mats Lindgren is playing for the Montreal Canadiens because Charlie Lindgren obviously also plays for Montreal. They're no relation though because Mats Lindgren's a Swede and Charlie Lindgren's an American. So Theo Fleury is back. That's great news. How did Brett Hull play? Yeah, see 4 points in 5 games. Like he's definitely the type to do good. Let's just see Forbes how he's playing. Forbes is a -5, but he's got 12 goals. So I'm going to leave Forbes in for now. But I mean, in the playoffs, if for some reason we're underperforming, we just need to bring in Brett Hull, and he should help us for sure. But yeah, this is another one of those months where the simulation is like, hey, you need to slow down because we've got 3 losses this month. Game against the Penguins, who are kind of in rebuild state, and Adam Foote is back. So that's a huge boost to our defensive core and our penalty killing unit, pretty much. So Ewe Krupp, you got to come out. Wait, how did Krupp play? 3 points? Okay, +5. He actually did pretty good, considering he was a 75. So there you go, Foote back in, and he's actually kind of dropping off, it looks like. So this might be one of Adam Foote's last years here, because technically in real life he was with Columbus in, I think it was 2007. So, I mean, it's close to around this time anyways. Grabeshkov was never injured. I'm interested to see how Grabeshkov finishes the season in terms of points because he's got that really good offensive awareness and playing on the power play, like on the second unit, he should be pretty good. Next year, if Fleury retires this offseason, he might play with Sakic and Forsberg, which would be even better. Okay, so yeah, we are still killing it. We should be still first in the entire league, I'd assume. Let's take a look quickly before we advance till the trade deadline. Yeah, 57 points for Peter Forsberg. Still looking for another Hart and another, what's the other awards? Yeah, I don't even remember the other awards now. I don't even know. Maurice Richard, maybe? No, he doesn't score a lot. Where are we standings-wise? We are still first in the entire league, only by 4 points because Detroit's also playing really good. Okay, let's go all the way to till after the trade deadline because we're not going to make any trades this year unless we see something that pops up. And then we're going to take a look at any trades that happened around the NHL like what we always do. So the Islanders are kind of struggling this year, which is kind of surprising because maybe they lost something good in free agency, but the last few years they've been trending upwards. Game against Dallas is a loss 5-2. There's still 2 losses in this month. Yeah, I think the simulation's just trying to keep us around a certain pace. It doesn't want us playing really abnormally well. And Joe Sakic has been injured. That is not good. So Forsberg, you're going to take face-offs now. And we're going to put Brett Hull in on this side. Damn, that is not good. Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, that's not good that our captain goes down. He was the Conn Smythe winner last year when we won the Cup, so I'm hoping he could contribute in the playoff run again this year. He is probably getting closer to retirement as well. Like a lot of these guys on our top line, once they retire, it might be a bit of a struggle to win more Cups, but you never know. Game against the Rangers, who are not doing so well. We win 5-2. Weimer and Belanger, no thank you. I have no use for grindy enforcer guys like those. Game against the Czechs, who might actually make the playoffs for the second straight season, which is kind of cool because I think that was the first time they made the playoffs this year, or this last year. Game against Vancouver, in what would be an actual tight rivalry in real life. And we lose that game. Martin Lapointe, no, 5 years left. Nah, I don't need Martin Lapointe till like 2010-ish, you know? Because Martin Lapointe in real life, I think, retired at the end of the 2008 season. Okay, so Brett Hull, you're coming back out again. And, wow, Sakic dropped off a lot. Holy shit. Yeah, Sakic might be retiring this year. He's now down to an exact top 9. 86 overall. Like, he's still playing really good. But he might be retiring this year, which means this is the year to win another Stanley Cup. Because if we don't win another cup and we lose him, we're going to have to name, like, probably Peter Forsberg our captain next season. And then we'll be without our top line center. But damn, I didn't expect him to drop off that much. Maybe that's why we've lost 4 of our last 5 games as well. Yeah, that was kind of surprising, damn. There's an overtime win over Germany, a win over Ottawa. Now let's take a look at the trades that happened at the deadline. 71 points already for Forsberg. Damn, he's just really good. Where were we going? Oh yeah, we were looking at the trades. That's what we were looking at. I was confused for a second. So, player picks and trading. So let's go all the way to the bottom of this list. So LA acquired a second and a third from Finland for Oleg Kavasha in the third and Giles Sen. San Jose acquired a first for Bill McCult and a fourth. Wow, Bill McCult fetching a lot. The New York Rangers acquired a third for Jimmy Ovalstad, a seventh and a seventh. That was going to Detroit. Tampa Bay acquired Jamie Langenbrunner, Richard Matvichuk, and a fourth from Dallas for Keaton Connolly, a first, and 2 others. So Tampa Bay is loading up for the playoffs, it looks like. Washington acquired Jason Cullimore, a second and a third for Tyrone Rupert, and a second. Florida acquired Chris Draper from Dallas for a second and Sawyer Paul. The Islanders acquired a fourth, John Van Beesbrook, who's still playing somehow, even though he's probably in his 40s, and a 6th round pick for a fourth in Yuri Kagorodov. Pittsburgh acquires Ken Klee, a third and a fourth for Aiden Ferentz, so another Ferentz type of guy, going to Calgary for a third, or with a third. Jason York and a third to Pittsburgh from Ottawa for Jay Eberle. I don't know if that's Jordan Eberle, because if Jordan Eberle is appearing in franchise mode now, that's going to be weird. And Liam Renberg, I think that guy's name is, and a third. Tampa Bay acquired a third, Mike McBain. So Mike McBain actually was picked up, I guess, in free agency by Germany, because we let him go. And then he was traded back to Tampa Bay, where he started this GM mode on. And a 6th round pick for his second, and Garen Bjorklund. Nashville acquired a second, Dmitry Chertishny, and a third from Edmonton for Owen McElroy and a second. In our final trade, New Jersey acquired Dave Scatchard and a second from Czech Republic for V. Graves, a third and a third. So yeah, the biggest trade definitely at that deadline, I think, was that Dallas and Tampa Bay deal. Because Langenbrunner and Matvichuk, pretty good players. And then Connolly's probably a good prospect. The first is pretty big, and then I don't know what else they gave up, but yeah, that was a pretty good deal. Like, I guess Dallas is out of the playoff mix, that's why they're letting them go. Let's see, where is Dallas in the standings? No, they're in the playoffs currently, so that's kind of an interesting deal. Maybe they don't think they're going to make it still, but they do have 1 more point than Tampa Bay even, so, and Tampa Bay is leading their division. So I guess that Atlantic division's a bit weak. Okay, let's get the rest of the season simulated, and then we will take a look at our player stats, the standings, all that stuff. I'll even probably show you guys the draft class, I think, because I haven't looked at it yet. Zadorov was never injured, but yeah, we are dropping a lot of games recently, which is kind of good in a sense, because when you win too much games, usually you don't have a good shot at winning the Stanley Cup. But we are still playing really good. Like, we've already got 40 wins, and Pittsburgh is putting Ken Klee on waivers. 80 overall, top 6 defenseman, 1 year left. You know what? I think I might claim him, because he is definitely a better option than putting in Uwe Krupp. Yeah, I'm gonna claim claim Ken Klee. I don't normally claim players, but Ken Klee, welcome to Colorado. I think you actually played with the Avs at one point. I don't know if he's going to get put in the minors. I think he is. But he's definitely a good option to help us out defensively if we get into injury troubles again. Like right now. Like Adam Foote just went down. Till March the 24th. At least he'll be back before the playoffs. But damn. Okay, so let's see. We're going to have to put temporarily. We're going to have to temporarily put in Uwe Krupp. Just so we could call up Mr. Ken Klee. But yeah, it's good I claimed Ken Klee, I think. I might actually send Krupp down to the minors. Like once Adam Foote returns. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to do that because I want Uwe Krupp to win a Stanley Cup again. But like at the same time, we need to make sure we actually have a good enough defensive core. Like Ken Klee's a pretty good guy. Like he could actually even replace Aaron Miller almost to an extent. Like Miller is getting close to retirement too. Yeah, we might lose a lot of guys this year, which would not be good because in the offseason like next season we're probably going to be a really weak team, I think. And Foote is back, so we're going to have to send down Mr. Uwe Krupp. He should not be getting claimed anyways. He should just stay down there in the minors, which, yeah, let's see. Yeah, so that's still going to give option in terms of the playoffs. Just in case we lose multiple defensemen, we could call him up. Or we could call up Amari Roach, because he won't be playing in the AHL playoffs this year, because I don't think the AHL team is going to make it. So Ken Klee comes out of the lineup, and in goes Adam Foote. So yeah, we might lose a lot of guys this year, just because like Foote, Miller, Sakic, and probably Fleury, even Patrick Wall. A lot of these guys are getting close to retirement, which is not good. And some of them are dropping off. Okay, so let's go till the end of the season. Sorry if my voice sounds weird. I had to keep on clearing my throat. Because I always get really bad, like, sore throats when I'm commentating. Like, I talk for a while and then I get a lot of yuck in my throat. So, let's get some more wins, boys. We're struggling this month completely. Like, we're probably not going to win the President's Trophy now at this rate. Like we might still. And wow, Aaron Miller just went down with an injury. So see, that's why I brought in Ken Klee. Jeez, these end of the season injuries are annoying. Like that's our third one in 3 years. So we finished the season 25 and 9, or 45 or 44, 29 and 9. I think that's what our record was. But we still finished first in our division, not first in the league. New Jersey has won the President's Trophy with 101 points. Interesting. So let's save this, and then we'll take a look at our player stats and the standings. And we'll see who we're up against in the first round. Also, I'll quickly look at the draft class as well, because I haven't done that yet. And I'm curious if there's any franchise guys yet. Okay, so player stats. So Forsberg, 87 points, 82 games. Really good season for him. Fleury, 75 points, 77 games. Sakic, 68 points in 77 games. Sam Strudwick, my God, 68 points in his second season in the NHL. And he was a plus 14, so not as good as last year. But look at this point total. This guy's already got 129 career points. 20 goals. 109 assists. God damn. It's probably the power play that's helping him out too. But yeah, this guy's looking really good. Probably another Norris right there. Drury, 62 points. 54 for Hayduk. Grabeshkov, 53 points in his first season. Really good for his 7th round pick. This guy also might get a lot of growth. Bulis, 37. Watt, 35. Olzolinch, 31. Zubov, 29 in his first season. Pretty good. Plus 24. Forbes, 25 points. Darmore, 22. Zadorov, 22. Adam Foote, 20 points and a plus 33. And that was in 45 games. Wow. He would have played pretty good if he didn't get injured. Culp 14 points, Miller 10 points, Klee 9 points, minus 30, but he wasn't with us for most of the season, so like he only played I don't know how much games with us, like the last few. But yeah, damn, that's probably why they let him go, because of his defensive stats and his penalties. Yeah, Brett Hull might go into the lineup for the playoffs instead of who was it? Instead of Forbes. I don't know. Goalie-wise, Patrick Waugh, 35, 21, and 4, 2 shutouts, and 912 save percentage, and a 2.47 goals against average. So not the greatest for him, but still pretty good. Ross Carter, 9 and 5, the 930 save percentage, and a 2.01, so he's still killing it. As you can see, his career now, he is 24, 10, and 0, or 24, 10, and 3, technically, with 3 shutouts at 931 save percentage still, and a 2.02 goals against average. Wow. Yeah, this guy is looking really good. Okay. Okay, so now that that's done, let's take a look quickly at the entire league. I just wanted to quickly see if Strudwick did get another Norris. So Forsberg again leading the league in points, so he's going to get another award. Looks like the Czech Republic had a really good year. Let's go defenseman. Yep, Sam Strudwick, another Norris Trophy for the youngster. 2 Norris Trophies by 21 years old. Beating out Rohan Sutter, who went like really high up in comparison to him. And also beating out Sergei Zubov, Chris Pronger. Yeah, that guy is the real deal. Okay, so now let's see the standings, see what struggled for us. There probably was our penalty, if anything. So New Jersey finishes first in the league, Nashville second, us third. Goals for per game on average. We were the best offensive team in the league. Not a surprise because we usually are. Goals against per game, we were the 4th best behind Nashville, New Jersey, and Florida. Power play percentage, our power play was not the greatest, actually. Yeah, our power play could use a bit more goals. 18.3%. Maybe we change up that power play unit. And our penalty kill was also really bad. One of the worst in the entire league, I think it said. Yeah, 79.6%. So we definitely need to pick up our special teams in the playoffs. But then again, it doesn't matter. It's like what happened with the Columbus Blue Jackets, because they had a really bad power play during the regular season. But in the playoffs, they were really good. Shorthanded goals for, we were one of the best shorthanded goals for teams, but we were just not good defensively. Our home record was 20-12, 7 and 2. On the road, we are better, 24, 13, 2 and 2. And we kind of struggled in our last 10. Okay, so now let's see who we are up against in the first round, and then I think that's going to be it for this episode, because it is already running quite long. Hopefully it's a team we could beat, and it's going to be the LA Kings. Okay, so we've never played LA before. This should be interesting, because I think we're going up against Rob Blake, who would have been on Colorado at this point in time. So Luke Robitaille is still kicking it around. Ross Houston, this guy was a high up pick, yeah, in 2020. Glenn Murray, Matthias Roosevelt, Olli Jokinen, Sean Donovan. Switching sides, Sean, I swear. Wow. Aiden Mackey, Thomas Gustafson, Dylan Cousins, Guillermo Pedersen, Connor Parrish, and Akil Thomas. So this is actually a really young team for the most part. Like, their veterans are Murray, Donovan, and definitely Robitaille, but everybody else is pretty young. So I'm liking that for them. Defensively, Chara and Rob Blake. Chara's getting up there a bit. Rob Blake is also getting up there. And then they also got Braden Boyce, Victor Hadfield, Simon Bergevin, and Tony Honka. But yeah, this team looks pretty good for a young team. And then Fissett, who also played with Colorado when they won the Cup, I think, before. And then Elvis Merzlikins. Scratch, they have Keegan Boychuk. So overall wise, I'm pretty impressed. Like, I mean, their team isn't the deepest, but it's pretty good for being such a young team. So I'm kind of nervous in that sense because maybe the young team could outskate our older veterans, but you never know. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Colorado Avalanche franchise mode. So in next episode, we will begin to defend our title as we take on the LA Kings in the first round of the playoffs. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.